Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Sid, and today I will present my senior capstone proposal, which is named Art Therapy's Positive Impact. Oh, nice. All right. So a little quick overview of who I am. My name is Joshua Sid. I attended Leeward Community College for early college courses during high school till fall of 2020. And eventually I became a full-time student at UH West Oahu in that spring. And then I also attended and graduated from Waianae High School in 2020 and also attended a creative media program that's called Sierra Productions back in high school. And now I am a creative media major and my concentration is general creative media. All right, so a little look at what we're going to go over. First, we're going to go over my thesis statement for the project and then the objective and rationale of my research. Then eventually get to my plans for the senior project and then address the significance of my proposed project with my research. All right, so the research conducted and with the help of my peers, I was able to create this thesis statement, which is a growing body of clinical research, demonstrates that art therapy interventions can significantly reduce symptoms of mental illness and support emotional healing as the creative process empowers individuals to regain a sense of control and integrate fragmented parts of themselves into a more cohesive whole. Basically, summing up art therapy's positive impacts. All right, so with that in mind, the rationale of this whole thing is to find out how valuable and effective art therapy can, or the art as a whole can truly can be when it comes to helping our mental states. Now, as for my objective, that is to raise awareness that art therapy can be used as an alternative when treating mental health. All right, so for my senior capstone plans, I plan on doing a project. I feel this direction is appropriate since the only logical way to prove the solution is through trials of tests, and in this case, an art activity. The most effective approach to assessment in this field of art therapy is to incorporate objective measures such as standardized evaluation procedures, such as formal assessments, behavioral checklists, portfolio evaluation. Also, subjective approaches such as the client's thoughts and POVs or point of views of their artwork. So, with that said, I plan on creating some form of art activity that allows the participants to create something that makes them happy or reminds them of something that makes them smile. The activity will be followed by a survey to find out if art can indeed change the emotions of people. The results will be on Instagram account along with the instructions for the activity. All right, so getting to the significance of the project. The significance for the mental health portion of my project was to show that mental health is extremely important for a person's overall being. It's crucial for all of us to have good mental health, as it is the way your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors affect our lives. With that being said, bad mental health could actually lead to a variety of symptoms that could branch off to more symptoms, such as the most common of them all, depression, which affects your ability to carry on with your daily life and to enjoy family, friends, work, and leisure. Also, as I said, it could eventually branch off to more symptoms such as anxiety, stress, sadness, hopelessness, frustration, helplessness, loss of interest, fatigue, aches and pains, loss of appetite, and more importantly, suicide attempts or thoughts of death and suicide, which is something we obviously don't want. All right, now as for the significance of the art therapy portion, as per research, basically restating from earlier, art therapy is an effective way to reduce symptoms of mental illness and support emotional healing for individuals. The creative process also has the ability to empower individuals to regain a sense of control and integrate fragmented parts of themselves into more cohesive whole. Now, art therapy has been used many times before, but not as much as we hope for it to be used. And with that, the mental disorders have shown decline over trials of studies. Researchers saw the therapy as an adjunctive treatment for the major depressive disorder, meaning it can indeed improve or reduce depressive symptoms. All right, some data that was collected from the research conducted can be seen here. All of this data was collected with the most effective and basically only approach to assess this topic, which was to incorporate objective measures such as standardized evaluation or formal assessments. Now, looking over to the top right, mental disorders have actually been on a rise since the pandemic, mainly due to the lack of physical interaction. As we all know, people were limited to the face-to-face talk due to the fear of the COVID-19 disease, causing depression for people who ultimately miss their family or friends. So according to Statistica, I think that's how you say the company's name. For those who have chosen to utilize some forms of therapy or coping mechanism of some sort, the most frequent choice at a whopping 43% amongst the general population was art therapy. It was also highly rated by mental health patients at 38%, only behind music therapy. Now, art therapy has shown a high percentage of effectiveness when used during studies and tests conducted by psychologists, and they all seem to have the final result of not only reducing depression, but also other symptoms as well. All right, so my target audience for my project is going to be mental health providers or therapists with the intent to raise awareness that art therapy is a great remedy for hard times or rough patches in our lives. So basically, to have therapists consider the remedy as an option for their patients to use. All right, so going back to my project, since there's no reasonable or fully proven solution to dissolve this problem, the most I can do is raise awareness of art therapy's positive impacts on individuals via formal assessments that will have participation in artistic works and infographics that will show the results of the data from surveys conducted after the creation of their artistic pieces. Basically, to continue the conversation that art therapy can be used as a way or option to treat mental health. All right, now the preparation and process is going to consist of 3 stages, of course, starting off with the pre-production, which is to curate the survey and email. Also, I will need to create the prompts and activity to be followed. But of course, I will need to collect my survey participants and create the Instagram account as well. Now, the production phase is where the trials and activities will start. And while that is going on, I will be collecting the data and updating the Instagram account as well. The post-production phase consists of gathering and finalizing the data collected and posting all the information and data on the Instagram account. I will also be posting the participants' work, but of course with their consent first. All right, so speaking of that, this is the general idea of how the Instagram page will look. It's gonna have calm and modern colors to set the mood of peace. It will also include the instructions or prompts of the activity, which I'm looking to make it clear and simple, allowing the activity to be fun and easy to follow and do. And the page will, of course, include the participants' artworks and final results of their surveys. All right, speaking of the surveys, here's an idea of how the survey and email might look. The email will be a typical Gmail that will consist of a link to a Google form that will be utilized as the survey. The email will also include a formal introduction of me and the project, also with the reasoning for this whole thing going on. The survey itself will have instructions and some form of rating system, scaling how they felt before and after the activity. I will also include an area for reasoning behind the final result of their feelings. So it's simple and not complicated, and that's exactly what I'm trying to go for. And all right, that's about it. Thank you for everyone for listening in. And does anyone have any questions?